Welcome to the end of day 3 of SummerWeen. Jelly Bean is here. Hi, Bean. Hi. I literally just finished the first reading vlog for SummerWeen, which was days 1, 2, and the first half of day 3. I am about to edit that footage and upload it to YouTube tonight, probably tomorrow morning. It'll be up. But I'm going to edit it and get it ready for that. While I'm doing that, I think I'm going to listen to my next SummerWeen read, which is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I wanted to update you on Survive the Night, which I'm listening to on my laptop. I'm about halfway through it. And it is wonderful. I don't think Riley Sager can do a book wrong. This is my worst nightmare. Well, maybe. I love road trips, but this takes place in 1991 when this girl is trying to go back home from college after her friend was brutally murdered. But she doesn't drive, so she kind of hitches a ride. So it's a road trip from hell. And so far, I don't know if I can trust our main character, if maybe she's like psychotic, or if Josh, the guy giving her a ride, is really just messed up. Like, I don't know which one of them I can trust yet. And I love that kind of thriller, so I'm enjoying every second of it. I cannot wait until August when I get my physical copy so I can reread it already. My husband made me go get non-dairy ice cream.
Well, you know me.
Of course. It's delicious, though. Bella, look at the camera. Bella's scared of the fireworks, so she's cuddling with Mommy. Alright, so I stayed up way past my bedtime. It is almost 11:30. I'm never up at 11:30 anymore. To finish Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This book was freaking amazing. I think after thinking it over, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 star, just because the ending was no. And by the ending, I just mean like the last chapter, maybe the last 2 chapters. But no, it was no. That ending has to go. You could basically not read the last chapter and be better off with that book. Just my opinion. But I have never listened to a Riley Sager book or read one that gave me goosebumps. And this book gave me goosebumps in the night. And then of course, I'm reading it on the 4th of July, so there were fireworks in the background, and I was, like, looking over my shoulder, even though it's just the fireworks, you know, it was scaring me a little bit. So, this book was the most terrifying Riley Sager book. Good morning, welcome to day 4 of SummerWeen. I'm going to listen to the rest of 6 Years by Harlan Coben via audiobook. I don't like it. So far, it's kind of boring. Not the best Harlan Coben book that I've read as of yet. But maybe it'll end on a better note. Reading update. So, it's been several hours since I saw you last, and I have cleaned my entire house. I'm so proud of myself. Honestly, if it weren't for the audiobook of 6 Years by Harlan Coben, I would not have finished this book. I feel like I'm so negative because I'm not liking any of the books that I'm reading. And it's weird because I'm out of my reading slump. I'm out of my depression. So I'm finally getting everything done that I need to get done. But as far as books go, I guess I liked Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and I cannot wait to have my physical copy. But I finished 6 Years. I gave it 1 star. This book is pure trash. There's no other way to put it. You follow this guy named Jack who watches his ex-girlfriend get married to this other guy, and she makes him promise to stay away. And 6 years later, he finds this obituary of the guy that his ex-girlfriend married, and he wants to get in contact with Natalie, his ex-girlfriend. And that's kind of how this book starts. It was just weird and repetitive. It wasn't even like weird, it was just repetitive and pointless. Like, okay, sorry, she dumped you, she doesn't want to be with you, she married someone else, so leave her alone. And the love story just didn't make any sense. You never got any context of into it. As far as I can tell, they were only together for a little while. They only went on a few dates. They weren't even that serious. So it just didn't make sense to me. It was just poor. It wasn't for me. So that kind of inspired this update. I am going to go through all of the Harlan Coben books that I have, because I have like 6 of them on my shelf unread. And I'm going to pretend that this is not an author that is very loved, or that I think I'm going to love everything he reads, because clearly I don't. And I'm going to go just read the synopsis and figure out what each of them are about. And we're only going to keep the ones that I'm seriously excited for. I think these are all the Harlan Coben books. I'm going to be brutal here, okay? I have 2, 4, 5 more books by this author that I only know what one of them is about. I have 6 books by this author. I'm going to be unhauling the woods. This one was already on my TBR. I have read not very much of it, honestly. 50 pages, and I'm not intrigued at all. It follows a forensic anthropologist, right? No, prosecutor. A county prosecutor. And I don't like that in my books. But it's weird because I love that in movies and TV shows. In books it doesn't work unless he's like, unless they're like a corrupt cop or something cool, that they have more layers than just being the cop or the prosecutor or whatever. And I'm not hooked yet. I don't really see myself liking this book, so I'm going to unhaul this one. we have The Stranger. I think my friend has this on audiobook, so I could always borrow it from her. Let's see. The stranger appears out of nowhere, perhaps in a bar or a parking lot, or at the grocery store. His identity is unknown. His motives are unclear. His information is undeniable. Okay, this one sounds really good, regardless of who the author is. So I am going to give this one a shot. Stay close. I don't know what this one's about either. The American dream can be a nightmare. Megan is a suburban soccer mom who once upon a time walked on the wild side. Now she's got 2 kids, a perfect husband, a white picket fence, and a growing sense of dissatisfaction. Ray used to be a talented documentary photographer, but at the age of 40, he finds himself in a dead-end job posing as a paparazzo, pandering to celebrity-obsessed rich kids. Broom is a detective who can't let go of a cold case. A local husband and father who disappeared 17 years ago and spends the anniversary every year visiting a house frozen in time. I'm gonna let this one go. I'm hold still. This is about these parents who see that their child, he's like 16, is getting very depressed, which is reasonable because his best friend just committed suicide, and his parents are now afraid that he is going to do the same thing as his best friend, and they're kind of trying to investigate what is going on in their kid's life. I do really want to read this. Missing You. Oh, I think this one's gonna be a no-go as well, but we'll see. Surfing an online dating site, NYPD detective Kat feels her whole world explode. Staring back at her is her ex-fiance, the man who shattered her heart and whom she hasn't seen in 18 years. But when Kat reaches out to the man in the profile, an unspeakable conspiracy comes to light. As Kat begins to investigate, her feelings are challenged about everyone she's ever loved, even her dad, whose cruel murder so long ago has never been fully explained. With lives on the line, including her own, Kat must venture deeper into the darkness than she has ever done before and discover if she has the strength to survive. A nightmare is just a click away. You know what? I am going to keep this one, even though it's from a detective's point of view, it's intriguing me enough to oversee that. Okay, and the last one from Harlan Coben is No Second Chance. Shot twice by an unseen assailant, Dr. Mark Sidman lies in a hospital bed. His wife has been killed, his 6-month-old daughter has vanished. But just when his world seems forever shattered, the ransom note arrives. We are watching. If you contact the authorities, you will never see your daughter again. Thank you, Ben. So, I got rid of 2. It's the end of day 4 of SummerWeen. I just saw Nobody, the movie that came out earlier this year. It was supposed to come out last year, but I don't think it did during the pandemic. It was so good. That means that hubby and I have seen 2 movies, in the past 3 days in theaters. That is so weird for us. We used to go, like, once every 2 weeks to see a movie, and then, COVID, and we stopped. But I really, really enjoyed Nobody. It was such a good film. I haven't done any more reading yet. I am actually thinking about reading Night of the Living Mannequins, Night of the Mannequin, something like that by Stephen Graham Jones. Gabby from Gabby Reads has actually recommended that on her channel once or twice. So, you know what? For SummerWeen, I'm going to read it. Welcome to day 5 of SummerWeen. Last night, I ended up reading Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, and it was nothing like I thought it would be. I was very hesitant to read this book because I thought it was gonna be weird. Okay, that's wrong. It is very weird, but in such a great way. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was great. It was probably my favorite book I've read during SummerWeen thus far. I have homework over there on my computer. My class just opened, so I made some coffee and am eating some leftover pizza for breakfast. And I'm gonna start doing some homework. Alright, an update for you. So I started my ASL 3 class, and I finished the pre-test, the syllabus quiz, and my introduction video. And I have read one book by Chevy Stevens that was considered a thriller, but it was horrifying. Like, the events that took place reminded me a lot of Karen Slaughter's writing, which is great because Karen Slaughter is very graphic and scary. Like, her books are horrifying as well. But I thought I would start reading Still Missing by Chevy Stevens for SummerWeen. I think that this is about this real estate agent who is packing up to go home for the day when this van pulls up to the house that she's been showing, and she thinks that they're just like last minute buyers or people who are coming to look at the house. So she starts walking down to the car or the van to introduce herself and see if they're interested in touring the house, and they kidnap her. And this is like a year of her being held captive. Okay, so I'm only 50 pages into Still Missing by Chevy Stevens, but I found out that it is her first novel, which is awesome. And it's told in an interesting way. Basically, this takes place 4 months after Annie has survived being held hostage by this demented man. And you get the story in different sessions. So instead of chapters, it's sessions. And it literally starts with her sitting down with a therapist and, you know, asking about what's relative today. You know, they have like a little conversation or whatever about what's happening in her life right now, and then she slowly drives back in to the story of what happened to her, what brought her to therapy about being held captive. And oh my god, some of the things that this guy put her through are torturous. They are terrible and horrifying. So I think this was a perfect read for SummerWeen because it is definitely horrifying. So far, I feel like this might be a 5-star read for me. Very, very creeped out because it's scary. But I'm also very much so enjoying it. If you read, as far as I know, this is for every Chevy Stevens book and Karen Slaughter book, I guess. But at least the two of both authors that I've read so far have trigger warnings for everything. Hey! So it's been a few hours. My second round of tutoring is about to start very soon. I've been working on Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. I'm halfway. And like, I was really, really, really enjoying it at first. So here's Jellybean. He thinks it's all about him, like always. I was really enjoying Still Missing at first, because you follow this woman named Annie who is a real estate agent who gets kidnapped and taken to this secluded cabin, and she's held hostage for a year. But I'm not sure. I kind of feel lukewarm about it. Now, it started off so good, but this is the second book I've read by this author, and in both books she does this thing. She has this plot point happen that I can't tell you about because spoilers. But it kind of makes me mad that it's like the whole reason behind kidnapping her was that thing. And in Those Girls by the same author, these guys kidnap 3 teenagers who are sisters and do some stuff to them that causes this thing to happen later. Kind of like this plot line, and I don't know, I've kind of lost interest. I'm going to read it for at least the next hour, as my tutoring starts in an hour, and I'll make a final decision. But I don't know, I feel kind of disappointed because I feel like it's the same plot as Those Girls, just recycled and changed slightly so far. Coffee. Good morning! Today is day 6 of SummerWeen. I think I'm gonna finish this. I have 150 pages, so I'm gonna finish this today, and then I think I'm done with SummerWeen. I just want to read something happy because these are all so dark and scary, and like, I love that for me, but I really just need something happy after this book because this has been a wild ride so far. So I'm gonna finish this. I'll probably update you, and then we'll just call it donezo for SummerWeen. finished Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. I loved the beginning. That ending was very unexpected, and it's dark and gritty and horrifying. And I loved that part. And then when she got released, it's kind of slowed down, and I kind of lost interest for a little bit. I even thought about just like not finishing the last like 5 chapters and just being like, counting it as read, but I didn't quite finish it type of thing. That last 5 chapters, mind-blowing. So you think you know what happened, but you really don't. And it's oh my god. Oh my god. That's all I can say. Like, if you've read Still Missing, then you know. No, it's very dark. And the bombshells, the twists at the end, oh my god. I'm still wrapping my mind around it, but I think this is going to be my last read for SummerWeen because I have to get ready and go to work. And then tomorrow, technically, is still SummerWeen, but I think I need something happy and light and not dark like that, because everything I've been reading has been horrifying and dark and gruesome, and I need something to change. So I'm gonna read something like fun tomorrow instead of horrifying. Like, I read this, reading this, I had chills. I can't even imagine. It is, oh my god. Horrifying isn't even a good word. It's like not scary enough. It's chilling. It's messy. It messes with your mind. And yeah, I do want to say though, trigger warnings for everything. Chevy Stevens books are very dark. This one has rape, and obviously she's kidnapped, held captive, and it's bad. He puts her on a schedule of when she's allowed to pee, and if she pees at a different time, then she gets beat more. Yeah, it's dark. So, thank you so much for watching this SummerWeen vlog. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing in August, because I'm going to be participating in Veda in August, and if you don't know what Veda is, I will have an announcement video on August 1st. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.